This time on the Families Matter Most podcast.
Maybe I'm the cause of this. This keeps happening in my life, and there is one common denominator. Me. This is me.
Every time Jen Dean speaks, I can see hope, knowledge, expertise, wisdom, and love.
When Jen Dean speaks about parenting, we make sure that we are there to listen because we know we will get valuable advice.
Families Matter Most with Jen Dean.
She doesn't just give skills for us to be better parents, but she teaches us how to reach our children's hearts. And at the end of the day, that's what truly matters.
This podcast might be hard. This might be a difficult one for you. Are you the problem? This podcast is titled, You're the Problem. It's you. Is it your fault? Are the issues, the troubles, the problems in your life, are they your fault? We're going to talk about 3 ways you self-sabotage and how to fix it, how to change, how to stop. What if it really is you? What if you're the cause of all your problems? You know, like the song, Hi, it's me. I'm the problem. It's me. It's me. I do it to myself. It's all me. What if that's true? I meet some people, I work with some people sometimes who comes across as standoffish, critical. And working with them, I discover they feel rejected. They feel abandoned by everybody in their life. You talk to them and everybody has hurt and offended them. Everyone has done something to tick them off. They're angry at everyone and they feel like they are the victim. They feel like they are this martyr, this victim, and everything just keeps happening to them and they don't understand why. Why does this keep happening? Why is everyone so awful to them? Now, please, sometimes, absolutely. Sometimes there's just things. And when things happen to you, I can sit in the pit with you and we can process it together. But sometimes I see a pattern. Sometimes this just keeps happening in someone's life over and over and over. And through it all, they are convinced that they're the victim. They've done nothing wrong. And this is everybody else's fault, everybody else's problem. Sometimes we meet someone and we know that they are also the problem. Like maybe people aren't perfect. And yes, there's legitimate things and they've hurt someone. But to recognize that, hey, you know what? There's some self-sabotaging going on, that maybe I'm the cause of this. This keeps happening in my life. And there is one common denominator. Me. This is me. I'm going to share a real example in my own life. And I'm going to give you tips on what to do to fix it, to stop this cycle. Because if you want to grow, if you want to get better, if you want to move beyond it, or even at the very least, you just want these things to stop happening, you're going to have to look it in the eye. You're going to have to accept what's yours to own, take responsibility for yourself, and change and learn and work and grow and get better. So I'm here. I'm Jen Dean. I'm your family coach with Families Matter Most. And we talk about all the things on this podcast. We talk about the things that will make us better, and they'll make us better in parenting. They'll make us better in our relationships. They'll make us better in our careers. They'll make us better in life. So today, this is a hard one. This is a hard one for lots of us, is what if it's us? What if we're the problem? Some people constantly feeling rejected. It's like they're disappointed with humanity in general, right? It's only a matter of time before they hurt me. This always happens. They approach new situations, relationships, friendships with caution. What if they're going to hurt me like all the others did, right? It's going to happen. It's only a matter of time. Eventually, everyone hurts me in the end. They can be critical. It's almost like they're waiting for it to go wrong. They're looking for it to go wrong. That makes us come across in a way that's kind of standoffish. We're not really committed. It makes us put up walls and we're not as open and friendly, as welcoming as maybe we think we are. We don't realize we're doing this, but when you're expecting someone to hurt you, you come into that relationship differently. You become critical. You're looking for it. Some people, they end up trying too hard. It's almost like they're trying to be fake. They're trying to be perfect. They're trying to be what other people want them to be so that they won't get hurt. in the end. The problem with that is it feels fake. It feels wrong. It doesn't feel true. It's not authentic. And so then people will try, they'll be fake. I tried to do everything for that person. I tried to be exactly what they wanted, and it wasn't enough. I wasn't good enough. They hurt me in the end. Or sometimes we end up trying to act like we have something to prove. We can be intense. That was me, 100%. That was me. I was expecting to get hurt because I had been hurt so many times in the past that I didn't realize this was happening over and over and over again. And it's almost like I was approaching new relationships. I was approaching friendships, work relationships, almost like this critical caution, like it's only a matter of time. They're going to hurt me just like everyone else has hurt me, because that's what people do. People just hurt you. I was expecting that. And then it played out in my life because my brain found the evidence, even if it was the tiniest little smidge of evidence, my brain finds that, grabs a hold of it. I take that into me, and then I have to prove. I have to prove that I'm good enough. I'll show you. I'll show you that I can handle it. I'll show you that I'm funny. I'll show you that I'm smart. I'll show you that I'm good enough. Yeah. Whoa, that's intense. What do people do? They back off. They say, oh, man, that's a little much for me. I was too much for people. Do you ever felt that way before? Do you ever feel like you're too much? I'm too much for people? Could it have come in any way from you trying to prove that you were good enough? Please accept me. Tell me I'm good enough. Tell me I'm smart. Tell me I'm fun. Oh, this is a hard podcast. Tell me I'm accepted. My brain is telling me you're just tolerating me. And now I sense you kind of backing off. Now I sense that you're kind of pulling away. I think that you're avoiding me. What's going on? How come they didn't talk to me? What do they think about what I said? Notice that this makes me very selfish. Completely unintentional, but it makes me very selfish, right? I'm focusing only on myself. What about me? What do they think about me? What do they say about me? Do they like me? Do they accept me? Do they want to spend time with me? It's all about me. How come they didn't respond to my text? They haven't invited me over. It's always about us, which also feels a little intense. Feels like a lot of pressure. It doesn't feel authentic and vulnerable, and it doesn't feel like the true friendship that we all want and a genuine caring about other people. So when we fall into that trap, and I've been there, I had to grow past that, but I can look back, and there was a time in my life when I did push people away. There was a time in my life where I was so focused on proving I was good enough so that I could be accepted that the very people I wanted acceptance from probably backed off. Whoa, she's a little intense. She's a little critical. Yeah, she's a little pushy. Absolutely, I could see that in my life. And it wasn't until I did the work on myself to recognize it, stop that cycle, and learn to grow beyond that things changed for me. So I'm hoping that this can help you today. I realize this is a hard one to listen to. If this is you and you feel like you've been in this cycle and this just keeps happening to you, then really maybe take some notes. Maybe sit down with a journal. Maybe reach out to talk. People will avoid you. They'll push you away. And then your brain will have more evidence as to why people don't want to be around you, why they're going to keep hurting you. It's only a matter of time before you become offended and hurt about a mistreatment, real or perceived. Even the smallest thing, it can blow up for you. It's a mistreatment. Something's not fair. They hurt you again. That person will then be added to the list in your head of all the people that have mistreated you, all the people that have hurt you. It'll be more evidence in your brain that the world is mean. People will hurt you in the end. Nobody cares about you. Yeah. So let's stop it. Let's stop the cycle. I'm going to give you some tips. What are some things you can do to stop it starting this moment today? First, Get help from outside your own head. You need someone who's going to be honest. You need someone who's going to tell you the hard things. Sometimes we want to sit with a friend. Sometimes it's really nice, and we all need that. We need to have that friend that we can complain to and vent to and talk to, and they're just going to put their arm around us and say, you know what, this is hard, and I'm sorry, and I love you, and you're a great person, and I don't know why these things keep happening to you. We need that sometimes. But sometimes we also need the truth. Sometimes we need that person that's going to gently, lovingly, respectfully say, hey, you know what? I think this says more about you than it does about this issue. I think there's something going on here. I think there's something going on in your head. I think there's something going on in your own heart. Let's dig that up. Let's look it in the eye. Let's move past it. Let's grow, because I don't want this to keep hurting you over and over and over again. I see that pattern. That's not good. It's not good in your life. Let's move past it. So you need to get help from outside your own head. I don't believe it's enough to read a book. You need someone who's going to notice these things in your life and point them out to you. As hard as that is, you need a coach. That's what you need. Number 2, you need to fight the urge to overanalyze. Again, your brain is looking for evidence, and it will find it. Even like the tiniest little smidge of evidence, it will find it and say, see, that person doesn't like you. That person's out to get you. That person's going to hurt you. Nobody cares about you. You have to fight that urge to overanalyze. What if you make a new decision today? What if you decide right now that you are going to be intentionally ignorant? I know, intentionally naive. Decide that if someone is upset with you, they're going to have to come out and tell you directly. You're not going to read between the lines. You're not going to assume. If someone really is upset with you, they're going to have to come out and tell you to your face, because you're going to choose to believe the best about everyone. Decide that. You can change your mind and decide that. And every time those negative thoughts start to creep in and you want to start overanalyzing, what did they mean? What this could mean? They don't like me and they're upset with me and there's an issue. Fight it. Just say, no, you know what? It could mean something else. It could mean that they're having a bad day. It could mean that they're struggling with something. It could have nothing to do with me. So I'm going to choose not to take it personally. I'm going to choose to believe that they're having a bad day. In fact, I might reach out to them, ask them how they're doing. I might actually do the opposite of what I used to do, which is, right, take offense, get hurt, be upset. I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to reach out to that person, check in on them, give them a compliment, a genuine compliment, say something kind. That is a life changer. And that's who you want to be, right? You want to be that person that is positive. You want to be that person that believes the best in everyone. So you can start that right now. Number 3, be intentional and focus on others. Focus on other people. Even though when we're nervous and uncomfortable, it is kind of selfish, and I'm there too, I get it. But choose in that moment to intentionally focus on others. You can do that. You're going to choose, right? You're going to develop this skill. You're going to choose that. So even though you're walking into a room and you're nervous and you're thinking about, what do I look like? What am I going to say? Am I smart? Am I going to be okay? Are any of my friends going to be here? What if you say, okay, all of that, I'm just going to leave that there and I'm going to choose to look around the room. Is there anyone I can add some value to? Is there anyone I can encourage? Anyone that could use a kind word or a compliment or conversation? Is there anyone here that I can build up? Remember, people really don't care about you. And I don't mean that in a negative way. People care about themselves. They have their own thoughts and dreams and fears. They have their own insecurities. They're just thinking about themselves, trying to get through their life, get through their day. So what if you choose to focus on others? What if you choose to build others up and be an encouragement in their life? You can develop this skill, right? You can decide to add value to everyone around you. Number 4, this is the last tip, is just come to terms with the fact that 30% of the people you meet won't like you. There, I said it. And it doesn't mean that they'll hate you. I don't mean that I don't mean that, they'll despise you. I just mean they won't be your people. You won't be drawn to them, or they won't be drawn to you. 30%. So 3 out of 10 people that you do life with, maybe at work, maybe you volunteer with them, maybe at school, wherever that is, 3 out of 10 people, they're just not going to be your people. You don't have the same values, probably, maybe the same sense of humor. You're not interested in the same kinds of things, and that's okay. Why can't we just be okay with that? 30%. They're just not your people. And if someone's not drawn to you, that doesn't mean you're supposed to change who you are. You're not supposed to adapt to meet their needs, to be who they want you to be. You just, okay, you're not my person. And in fact, I probably wouldn't love who I became anyway. I wouldn't feel great. It would feel fake to me. It wouldn't feel authentic, because I would know that I'm changing who I am to be someone that's not me. Those aren't my people. So find your people. Don't focus on the people who aren't drawn to you. Find the people who are and build them up, encourage them. I've learned all of these tools. I've learned all of these lessons the hard way. I've been that person, and I want to encourage you. You can move past this, and it is so much better. Life is so much freer when you're not so focused on how you come across. You're not focused on how people receive you. You're not focused on, are they mad at me? Are they offended? Did I say this thing to hurt them? Am I offended with them? Did they mean it? How did they mean it? Did they mean it in this backhanded way? Did they mean it as to be rude? Was that a dig? I don't know. What if we lay all that aside? Intentionally ignorant. I'm okay with that. Naive? Okay. I'm mostly okay with that. There was a time in my life where I felt ignored and discounted. I didn't trust people. I really felt like it's only a matter of time before everyone hurts you in the end. So nothing worked until I took the time. Nothing worked until I got outside of my own head and got an outside person who would tell me the truth. I got a coach, and I worked on my own insecurities. I hope this helps you. If I could tell you, it is so much better on the other side. So as hard as this might be to look at, it's worth it. Freedom is worth it. If I've struck a nerve, please reach out. I don't want this to be more evidence of how people don't understand you. I don't want this to feel like an attack. I don't want it to feel like one more thing, one more person that's blaming you for everything. I don't want it to come across that way. But I do want to be honest and say, if this is happening to you over and over and over again, I need to, as a good coach, I need to say, could it be you? Could it be? Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe there's outside circumstances. Maybe, and there are real harms. There are real issues where please do not hear that I'm blaming you for them. There are real harms that are not fair and are not your fault. But if you are in a cycle of feeling critical, if you are feeling constantly judged, if you are feeling like everyone is always hurt and offended and they're always avoiding you, then maybe it's time to look at it. I want this to be your turning point to a peaceful, joy-filled life. So if you need to reach out and book some private sessions would be really great to talk about some of the specific things that have happened in your life where maybe you've started to believe these lies, right? That I'm not good enough. I want to be accepted. I'm worthy. Maybe we need to talk about that. Maybe group coaching would be nice, because building a community of people that are cheering you on, and there's no criticalness. There's no judgment. We are literally cheering each other on to success would feel so good. So maybe group coaching is what you need. Book a strategy call. Let's get you the help that you need. Let's just decide we're not living like this anymore. No way, man. Life is too short. I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for listening to the Families Matter Most podcast with Jen Dean, part of the Saskatchewan Podcast Network. If you are interested in contacting Jen for one-on-one parent coaching, for speaking engagements, or just to get a little more information, please visit our website, familiesmattermost.com.